Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kate, or I go by AlwaysMoreSims here on YouTube, and today we are looking back at the screenshots and pictures we took during Generation 8 of my Sims 3. For every generation there's a genre challenge. So Generation 8 was based on romance novels, and we followed our pretty little blondie here. This is Jace. Yes, he's named Jace after the Mortal Instruments, which is what pretty much all of the characters in this generation are named after. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of start with Jace's backstory, and we'll just kind of fill in as we go. So basically, Jace is an only child. He was born to Eliza, which was our Generation 7 sim, and Deacon. Now, Eliza was a rock star, and all Eliza cared about was being a rock star. She didn't really care about getting married, having a family, like none of that really appealed to her. So when she did end up getting married and then falling pregnant, she kept the baby with the expectation that she wouldn't have to do anything with it. After she gave birth, the baby was going to be completely Deacon's responsibility. Eliza didn't really want anything to do with her son. She had no interest. She only cared about her career, nothing else. So it was pretty much Deacon and Jace for all of Jace's life. And Jace always wanted to have the relationship that his dad had with his mom, but he knew that how his mom kind of responded was not what he wanted. But he wanted someone who loved him the way that his dad loved his mom, and he wanted to love someone the way his dad loved his mom. Deacon was very loyal, was very supportive, very affectionate and caring towards Eliza, and she just wasn't. She did not return that affection. Both of them moved with Jace to Sunlit Tides, which is where we live, and I'm pretty sure the day after I switched to Jace, playing with just Jace, they divorced, and that didn't really surprise me. So yeah, so Jace moved to Sunlit Tides, and he kind of went into it with this thought of, I'm gonna find someone to love like my dad loved my mom. But he didn't really know what an actual healthy relationship looked like, so he went into all of these relationships almost love bombing, not with a bad intention, but again, not quite understanding what a healthy relationship should have looked like. And as these relationships continued, they became less about finding affection and genuine love, and more about lust and the fun he could have between the sheets and all that fun stuff. So he kind of lost sight of what he was looking for until he met Dakota, which is our beautiful redhead here. And then he was like, whoa, this is what I've been looking for. Yeah, it was instant for him. He met her right before he aged up into an adult, so he'd kind of matured out of the whole bachelor sleeping around phase. But because he was an adult, he now was a little more panicked that, he still wanted to have a family. He still wanted to do all these things now that he'd found, his person. So they moved pretty fast because he was an adult now and time was ticking. So they met, and then they got engaged, and then they got married, and then they got pregnant. And this all happened in very, very quick succession. So again, there's Dakota. She has just told him she's pregnant with their first child. They end up having 5 kids together. And again, these kids happen just one right after the other, just boom, 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 boom. Again, both wanted a large family. Both knew they were running out of time. And so they'd have a baby. Here we are actually having our firstborn. This is Alec. And they turned around the next day and got pregnant with baby number 2. And that's just kind of how the entire generation happened. Once we met Dakota, it was just, everything happened really fast. And, well, hi. Did you guys let yourself out? Yes, hello. Give me a second. Sorry about that. My dogs were in my room. They'd been eating dinner, and apparently Moose decided to let himself out of my room and into my office. So I kind of forget what I was saying, but basically we had Alec, turned around the day after Alec was born, got pregnant with the second child, his little sister Isabel, which you just saw us coming out of the hospital holding. The day after Isabel, we got pregnant with baby number 3, which Dakota has just found out she's pregnant with. And with this generation, I actually found quite a few mods that I downloaded that gave extra romance interactions, more pregnancy interactions. So like her telling him just now that she's pregnant, showing him the sonogram, this cute little kiss here, like these are all from a mod. And then I also have like additional toddler interactions. So like when they were sitting there in the chair, like Dakota was feeding Alec. There's different screenshots throughout here where like toddlers and children are feeling the baby bump, like right here. So Alec is feeling the baby bump. It's so cute. Like those are all from a mod. This screenshot right here where she's playing with him, that's from a mod. It's a lot of really cute stuff. So that probably didn't help with how poorly this generation ran though. So one, this save is getting so congested. It is getting so bogged down. It is such a large save. And Sunlit Tides does not play well because it's a very heavy water world. Heavy water worlds don't do well. And 3, then I added these extra mods. So this was not my smoothest generation. Anyways, as you saw, we just brought baby number 3 home. Baby number 3 is Clary. And then they went out on a date to one of these lots out in Sunlit Tides. And I don't know why there's a bed just in the middle of this lot, but there is. And so we took advantage of the bed, and here we are pregnant with baby number 4. So, again, it all happened really fast. This is another cute little interaction. That's Alex, our oldest. Look at him. He's so cute, loving on the baby bump. And yeah, and then the kids, none of them took after Jace. They either look like their mom or they look like their grandfather. None of them are blonde. That was baby number 4, by the way. That was Max. This is Clary. Clary is a brunette. She looks just like Deacon, which is Jace's dad. None of the kids look like Jace. None of them are blonde. And they basically alternated. So like Alec was born a brunette, Izzy was a redhead, Clary was a brunette, Max was a redhead, and then our heir here, which is there, that's actually a picture of her right there. Max is just above her. There she is. That's our heir. This is Amelia. And I'm glad Amelia was born a brunette. I wanted her a brunette. I was crossing my fingers she'd be a brunette. I was also really hoping that Clary would be a redhead and that Alec, Izzy, and Max would all be brunettes. And I know they have black hair in the series, but I didn't have any Sims with black hair, so I was like, I'd rather them be brunettes than redheads, but that didn't quite work out. Again, it kind of alternated. I mean, some of the kids had the blue eyes of Jace, but there were a lot of green eyes like their mom. And like, yeah, they looked a lot more like Dakota and Deacon. So, this here is Alec. He's proposing to his boyfriend Magnus. Yes, just like in the series. And they do also end up adopting a little boy. Now, I know in the series that comes after the Mortal Instruments, which I never read. I only read the Mortal Instruments. I know that they adopt a little boy and name him Max after Alec's younger brother, but in the series, Max dies. In the game, Max does not. So I didn't do that. We named the little boy Luke instead. And then here's Izzy with Simon. I'm not a big fan of Simon in the books, the TV show, the movie, nothing. I'm not a Simon fan. I don't like him. But Izzy did end up marrying him, and they had a planned pregnancy with a little boy named Raphael. And then right before the generation ended, Izzy actually got pregnant again with another little boy who we named Christopher. So she ended up having 2 boys, which I think is funny because I think Izzy would love to have a little girl. Then we have Clary here. So Clary's all grown up, and she ends up marrying this nice young man. His name is Jonathan. Yes, Jonathan, as in Jonathan Christopher, as in Jace's full name. Yes. And then they got married, and they ended up having 3 kids total. They had a set of twins, which I was not expecting. Twin girls named Cassandra, however you want to say it, and Clarissa. And then I was originally planning on having Cassandra, Jocelyn, Christopher. That didn't happen because I was running out of time. So they had twins, and I did Cassandra and Clarissa, and then they had another little girl named Jocelyn. And then when Izzy got pregnant again, I was like, oh, she can have the name Christopher. And that was her actually just a moment ago, the sim holding the baby. That was her coming out of the hospital with Raphael, because we ended up taking her to the hospital, but I don't remember why. And then Clary ended up throwing a party, and she invited us over while she was pregnant with the twins, so I got some cute interactions of the grandparents getting to see the pregnancy. That picture just there was the last picture I have of Jace. He died right after that. And then we have Max, our last child to get married in the generation. He married a sim named Sebastian, and I'm running out of time. I know I'm almost at the end. Thank you guys. This is so abrupt. He married a sim named Sebastian. Sebastian has a child already from a previous relationship named Ash, and then they ended up having a child together named Valentine. And that is where I'm going to wrap this up here. So it's going to be abrupt. I'm sorry. But yeah, so we'll pick back up with Amelia in the next generation. It's going to be great. I don't know how it's going to go, but we will just have to see. Thank you guys so much for watching. Gaming channel, Twitter, Barbie challenge rules all listed down in the description below. Thank you guys, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!